Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Studio 91, located in Los Angeles, California. I am Aaron Huang, and my partner is Vic Huang.
And this is Vic.
We will be your hosts today. In this episode of Aaron and Vic Show, we will be discussing and analyzing specific statistical news about children's malnutrition rates from all around the world.
Wow.
Vic and I have been analyzing data from the World Health Organization, and we have found something fascinating. An expert has used a special method to analyze the data. First, he used the categories of government to divide the countries in the world up in order to compare the children's malnutrition rates across different government categories. We reviewed the data, and I have made an educated guess that the Republic countries have the highest average of children malnutrition rates of all government types. Let's take a break for now, and we will be back soon. And the statistics experts will come in and discuss her finding with us. We will see you in a moment.
Ow!
Hi everyone, we have the statistics expert with us today. And we're going to ask her how she came up with the topic and what she did to get the results. Let's give her a warm applause. Hi, Dr. Chapera. We appreciate your precious time to be here and to share with us your discovery on this statistical experiment.
Thank you so much for having me, Aaron and Vic. Hello to all the listeners of Studio 91. Today, I want to talk about the correlation between child malnutrition rate and government type. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the steps I took to complete my statistical findings. And I know that most of the listeners, Aaron and Vic, might not understand some of the specific statistical terms I'm going to use. Thus, I'll explain it in an easier way with some mathematical terms that all of you guys know. When I first looked at the World Health data, I decided to divide the countries in the world into specific categories. I tagged each country by indicating one of three significant government types: republic, constitutional monarchy, and anarchy. This took a little bit of background research.
Could you tell us what each of these categories means and give us a few example countries in each category?
Of course. A republic is a form of government in which the country is considered a public matter, not the private concern or property of rulers. For example, the United States or France. Anarchy is the state of a society being freely constituted without authorities or a governing body, like Somalia. A constitutional monarchy is a form of monarchy in which the sovereign exercises authority in accordance with a written or unwritten constitution. For example, the United Kingdom or Japan. So I would expect anarchy to have the lowest malnutrition rate. That is, until I analyzed the data.
About how many countries fell into each category?
So about 102 countries are categorized as republics. 19 countries are categorized as constitutional monarchy, and 3 countries are categorized as absolute monarchy, also known as anarchy.
Interesting. So is that enough data?
Yes, I believe with this amount of data, I can definitely, in analyzing my data, I asked myself, even if I get a result for the question, is it going to support my hypothesis and create an unbiased answer? I realized that I could use a statistical test, which I learned about in high school, to test the hypothesis against the evidence. First, I had to calculate the average malnutrition rate in each category of government type. I found 55.9% average child malnutrition rate for republics, 25.5% for absolute monarchy, which is anarchy, and 49.5% for constitutional monarchy. Thus, the data suggests that republic countries do have the highest malnutrition rate overall. Because the amount of data for absolute monarchy countries is too small, I decided to do a 2-sample t-test to analyze the difference between the other two groups, republics and constitutional monarchies. I would test to see if the difference in the average malnutrition rate between constitutional monarchies and republics was statistically significant or just due to chance. I want to clarify the term 2-sample t-test to my listeners and my hosts. It's a category of statistical test that is used when you want to compare two independent groups to see if their means are different. After I inserted all the values for a two-sample t-test into the calculator, I obtained a p-value. This is the probability of obtaining test results at least as extreme as the results observed during the test. The p-value I got was very, very close to 0, which means that my hypothesis is very significant. In context, this means that constitutional monarchies have statistically smaller malnutrition rates than republics do.
Why do you think that?
This could be due to the fact that there are far more republics in the data set. This means the range of malnutrition rates for republics will be very big. They might have the highest malnutrition rate and the lowest malnutrition rate. If it has the highest, that will pull the average up, even if this category also had the lowest.
Dr. Chapeta, I think you have explained your statistical findings thoroughly, and we hope that you can keep discovering more statistical findings so we can have you in our studio more often. Lastly, we really do appreciate having you here today.
Thank you guys, this was a lot of fun, and thank you for listening, everyone. I'll leave the listeners in your hands now.
Out of all the republics, Burundi has the highest republic malnutrition rate. Years of conflict in Burundi have ended since 2005, and the support of UNICEF is working to build a community-based approach to treating severe malnutrition. The lowest malnutrition rate is Chile. We can help countries that have high malnutrition rates by sending food for them and by not wasting the food that we have. And if you have a lot of money, you can adopt a child and help take care of them.
Okay, guys, this will be the end for the Aaron and Vic show today. We appreciate you listening to our podcast, and we wish that you guys can listen to our podcast more in the future, and we will be introducing more interesting facts and discoveries.